Good morning, good evening, depending upon what part of the world you're in. If it's Friday, it is the CEO series where we bring together the most phenomenal leaders from across the globe and they share their career journey. And I'm excited today to have a dear friend of mine, Qazi Ahmed, who I've been knowing for as long as I've been in Dubai. And and he's going to share his story as to how he built one of the leading training and development companies in the Middle East. And with that, I welcome you, Quaz. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, Ron, and thank you for inviting me in this excellent CEO series. You are doing amazing work. I have seen a lot of your podcasts and the type of people you are bringing in. You bear an extensive experience when it comes to learning and development, and especially the executive coaching. So, thank you once again for inviting me, and good evening from Dubai.
From Dubai. Well, good evening, almost good night
That's why I said.
from Singapore. That's where I am now at the airport, headed out. So, walk us through the journey. I mean, you didn't just arrive in Dubai and overnight build a global company, one of the leading companies in the Middle East as it relates to training and development. Walk us through how all that happened. Give us a short version of it.
Okay, so this is difficult. Short version. You said short version. Okay, I'll try to summarize.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. If you would have asked me before 15 years from now that I'll be leading a company in Dubai, in Saudi, Oman, learning and development, that was never my passion, right? I actually, after having my MBA from South Bank University, UK, I started a finance job eventually, and because I did my MBA in finance and marketing, so I was too much into enthusiastic. Okay, I'll be a CFO, financial controller someday. You know how it goes when you are a fresher coming out from from the university. So, but I realized at the very early stage of my career, I realized that I'm not the finance guy. In fact, I'm a people person. And
Hmm.
if I'll be continuing this journey of finance, I'll not be ending up anywhere. So that was the time when I switched my career from finance to client relationship, and I joined one of the biggest and known company, TerraBiz in Pakistan, which is led by
Hmm.
Hamza Hashmi. So I joined them, and then eventually I continued. Then in 2013, I moved to Dubai. You are
Hmm.
right, like we were discussing the other day, that when I moved to Dubai, it was like no job, no offers, nothing. So that was the hard and struggling time. I went door to door for job interviews, and I got my first breakthrough in linchpin training, led by Farooq Beg, a very visionary person. After 3 years of my first contract, so that was a turning point in my life because at
Hmm.
that time it was 2016, and I thought that I must start something at my own. And again, Hamza from Terabase, who was my ex-boss, because we have a very good synergy, we think together a lot of things. So we decided to start Symphotics. And in 2006, we formally started Symphotics professional development, and we entered into corporate learning and training. So that's how my passion left me from a desk job in finance to people,
Yeah.
meeting people, relationship, and eventually as an entrepreneur. But
Yeah.
that was not the dream, but it all happened. And it's not that easy, like I'm telling you, I'm smiling, I'm laughing. There are many, many pitfalls on the way down the road.
I know. I know. I never really knew the backstory behind that because you don't appear to be, as long as I've been knowing you, you don't appear to be the finance guy. You've got too much personality for not
Yeah,
that I'm making it talk about finance people, and
yeah.
doing that. And I'm saying I know him well, because I've seen him quite a few times when I'm in Pakistan. So,
Yeah.
that's amazing how, and see, one of the key points in talking about people's careers is, you come out of university and you think it's going to go like we were talking about this before we went live. You think everything's going to go this way, and
Yeah.
you went this way, and then you change up and you're doing something totally different. Was there a pivotal moment in that journey that you decided that, you know what, let me try something else. I'm looking for that financial position, but all of a sudden something else popped up. What caused that?
You mean to say that when I was doing my finance job, so what caused to me be in coming in this business development and
Yeah.
see, it was my, I think I'll say it was my appetite towards how I see things and how what is my approach towards the work. In
Hmm.
when I was working, I'll tell you, when I was working in the finance team, I was doing financial modeling for a research company, and I was part of the financial modeling team. And then whenever we used to find any hurdles, I used to stood up and talk to my management that we shall be outreaching the clients. Okay, I have the knowledge, I'll go
Okay.
there, I'll speak up. So the instinct was there. So, it was there always, but I was not trying to figure it out. So that was one of the shift which I think it was a pivotal moment that I switched from finance to this career.
Yeah.
You are right when you say this. And whenever we grad and we come out with the paper in hand from the university, we
Yeah.
we are not too much visionary. And nowadays you watch a lot of speakers, motivational speakers, but sometimes you do not know that where you are heading towards. Even we do not know about it, and we get
Hmm.
to know about it with the passage of time. So that's, sorry,
Hmm.
I'm giving long answers. You can always interrupt interrupt me in between.
No, no,
You are
you're
talking to me. You are talking to me on my favorite subject.
yeah.
So you
Well,
have to interrupt me.
I speak to so many people. They start one way and then it flips around and they're doing something totally different.
Yeah.
We had a guest on a while back. He was a surgeon, very successful surgeon, and he quit that and did something else because he found more passion in doing that. That's a big switch, but exactly what you were just talking about. So, how did you, when as you were going through that part of your career, how did you stay focused? I mean, you were doing it and then you were thinking about something else. And was there anything there that kept you focused on, I'm going to continue to pursue this? Because it's not as easy as I'm going to hang up the CFO's job and I'm going to switch into learning and development. So I'm sure there were some rough times there and all of that. But how did you stay focused?
See, as so I'll step back from before Symphonics, right? So when I entered into this career, it was really distracting. You are absolutely right, and I was keep discussing it with Hamza, who is my mentor as well. That I wanted to be somewhere else, but now I'm here. But he was keep telling me that Kazi, you are doing something very good, which is coming from inside of you. So you do not have to practice to meet people, go to them, talk to them, make relationships. You don't have to open any book about
Yeah.
this. The only
Hmm.
confusion I had was about where I'm heading towards as a career. You know why? Because when it comes to Dubai, UK, any part of the world, this learning and development and conference industry is a very developed industry,
It
right?
is.
But at that time in Pakistan, I'm talking about 2009, 2010,
Okay.
right? So 2009, 2010, at that time. So you can imagine now we are in 2025. So at
Hmm.
that time, it was not a very developed industry. So I was
Hmm.
always worried that where I'm heading towards. But then slowly and gradually, eventually, I got the leap, I got the contacts, and I was doing pretty good in that.
Hmm. And you were able to build it out, and now you are one of the top brands in the region, as it relates to learning and development. So I mean, it was a great journey, but you have a success story, to tell behind that. Were there any challenges that you faced in that journey? And because we all
See,
go through those challenges, can you walk us through some of that?
yes. If you talk about setting up a learning and development company in Dubai, the foremost, the biggest challenge we faced, and we knew it already, was competition. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
very small word, Ron, but see, in every market, you have a USP, right? You know what you are doing. So I'll tell you honestly. I mean, you have been to Pakistan, you have been a keynote speaker into various events and conferences. You have
Yeah.
done training programs as well. So when it's Pakistan, we were going with a USP that we are inviting top-notch speakers to the Pakistani market. So that was, as a business development, sales, and client oriented person, for me, was okay. Smash it. Go to the clients, tell them what you are doing, and
Hmm.
if people who are listening to us, they know Marshall Goldsmith. You know Marshall Goldsmith.
Marshall goes, I know Marshall
Yeah.
very well. Yeah.
So I was the person who was involved in the negotiations and in all the operations when we invited Marshall Goldsmith to Pakistan. We invited
Mhm.
their worlds to Pakistan. So
Mhm.
we, one of our friends' company, Octara, they invited Ron Kaufman to Pakistan. So these are
Mhm.
like premium speakers, right? So
Yeah,
there
that's
was
top.
always
That's
there
the top of the food chain.
yeah, and you as well. So whenever we go to the clients, there is a USP. But when it is Dubai, every other person sitting on the client side, they are something in their own at the client side. So the biggest challenge was competition and
Mhm.
pricing. More than, I'll tell you, KHDA, which is the Knowledge Human Development Authority. So KHDA
Mm.
have a list of training companies and
Yeah.
training institutions on their website, which is more than 1,200,
Mhm.
right? But if I narrow it down to what we are doing, then 800 to 820 companies are registered as a training company in Dubai.
Really, I didn't know
Yes,
that. My
can you
goodness.
imagine? I saw the KHDA website, and 1,300 are total companies, out of which 400 to 500 companies are also training and providers, but in a different league, right? But even if
Mhm.
I talk about corporate trainings, learning and development program, there are like 700 to 800 companies registered, and you just go through the list, and it is all given over there. Of course, we are also listed in KHDA. So, can you imagine the level of competition? This is one thing. Second thing is,
Yeah.
when you are in Dubai, then the clients has the access to all the varieties, to all the
Yeah.
levels, senior
Yeah.
management, top management.
Yeah.
So the biggest challenge was competition. We decided that we will not go in a price war, because anyhow you have to go with a strategy when you are entering
Yeah.
into a market. So we decided that we cannot match the price with all of the institutions. So we will go with quality. We will go with premium. Sorry, I would use a word, solutions, because
Mhm.
it's a training solutions. We are not selling it, but we are training solutions,
Yeah.
and we will try to focus what value we bring to the client. So these are the words I'm always using when I'm going to my
Yeah.
clients and writing to them. That what
Mm.
value addition I can do it for you. So yeah, this was one of the key challenges while setting up Symphotex in 2016 at that time, and still.
That's an amazing journey because you're starting from. I didn't know the level of competition. I know what that office is because when I first came to Dubai, I was the CEO for Great Place to Work, and it was someplace in Knowledge Village, I think it was at that time, or something like that. But that much competition, so you must have had some great strategy to build that from the thought process and register the company to become one of the top learning and development companies inside of the Middle East. So kudos to you and your team, I mean, for building that out because you just don't get into that level of competition and drive it to where you are. So what do you think was the value proposition that you were able to succeed? I know a lot of those people of that 800 or 1,000 tried it and eventually they just said, no, can't. There's no way to penetrate that. Is there a secret sauce you want to share as to how did you become one of the top firms?
See, there are two things. One is, the value proposition was, we tried that I have to change my mindset and come out of the sales and business development mindset, and we have to step in the shoes of a solution provider. So
Okay.
unlikely what I was doing in Pakistan, I have to do something differently over here when we
Mm-hmm.
build Symphotex. So value proposition was, first thing first is try to understand what the client needs, because we are, see, it's very unfortunate, but the industry in which me and you are is let me say it, is usually the last priority of any
Yes.
organization. Okay.
Oh, here it is.
See, so sorry for that, but it is usually the last priority of any organization. Look, why last
Yeah.
priority? I doesn't mean that. I do not mean that they do not have the vision, but when it comes to investment, it's the last
Mm-hmm.
investment option. But of
Mm-hmm.
course, UAE is a big market, and especially in government, especially in banks and large corporates with whom we are dealing,
Yeah.
the value if you are going to them with a solution mindset, not with a
Mm-hmm.
selling mindset. So you
Mm-hmm.
go, you sit, and you talk to them and try to understand, if they have a good talent pool and they need a training, then where is the problem? Where is
Okay.
the pain points and pain area? If you will speak, see, it is not only for me, but if there are people who are listening to me, then anything, if you are trying to sell it to the client, and everyone is a salesman. From the CEO till the sales executive, we are all into selling, right? So
Hmm.
the biggest salesperson for me, the biggest salesperson in any organization is the CEO. So he has
Hmm.
the main burden on his shoulder. So if you talk to the client about what are their pain areas and how you can add value to improve the pain
Yeah.
areas in their
Yeah.
people, they would listen to
Yeah.
you. And once
Yeah.
once they starting listening to you, then
Mm.
you are on the table, and then you can talk about what you are doing.
Yeah. It's funny you mention that because I tell clients all the time. I said I sell solutions. I don't really sell training. I
Yeah.
sell solutions to you. If you're looking for solutions, let's talk about what you need and try and figure that out. And we'll sell a solution to kind of close the gap or reduce the gap of whatever it is, as a result of that. And sometimes it's not easy because somebody else comes in and all they talk about is, I can do it for this price, this price, this price. And they didn't anchor on the solution side. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. What was the biggest learning from your side on leadership? As you decided to move this, you're building this book of business. Um, how did you lead a team, and how did you build a team to everyone focuses on the solution side or whatever it is? What was it about your leadership style with your team or with your clients or whatever it is that kind of enabled you to build the company you have today?
Okay, my own leadership style, you mean, right? See, we do not have a very big team, so we have a small team over here,
Yeah.
but and back office as well in Pakistan. So what I believe in since day one, right? And this is what the leaders did with me as well. So maybe I'm being adaptive. If it comes to personal, I'm very adaptive. And when it comes to the organization, then I believe in empowerment.
Okay.
Empowerment, appreciation, and trust. This is not, there is no big science in it. I mean, you do not have
Yeah.
to follow big leadership models to trust your people. I mean,
Yeah.
no need of that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
trust your people, you empower them, but remember, this is your judgment that up to what level of empowerment you have to leverage, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that they do it, they take actions, they make small mistakes, and they grow. It is
Hmm.
like that. So it's
Yeah.
not like that you empower them for everything. When you read a motivational speaker, oh, empower your people, that's great. It's not like you
Yeah.
give them empowerment for everything. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm not against motivational speakers. They are part of my journey always. But I'm just telling you, right? So you empower your team, let them do it, trust them,
Hmm.
but stand at their back. So you have to be with them. Otherwise, you will not be able to develop your team. So the
Yeah.
leadership style which I eventually follow, it's not like I decided that what is my leadership style. But what I'm usually doing is to lead people, to make team, to form teams, is to empower them and trust them. That's it. Plus
Mm.
transparency. I always encourage them to be transparent, and I tell them whatever are the mistakes in this journey, if we are transparent to each other, no need to hide the mistakes. Okay,
Yeah.
only then we can improve. If you will
Mm.
hide a mistake today, then it will be a bigger problem tomorrow. So I think I
Yeah.
think I get a good feedback from my team as well. Sometimes, of course, I'm a little
Uh,
bit on the stricter side, and I'm a little bit strict as well.
yeah.
Because, but it's fine. They trust me, I trust them, and we have a healthy work environment. They try to give their best, and for me, success is when they are keep developing themselves, they grow, and when I am out of certain processes. For
Hmm.
me, sometimes I'll give you a small example of a training program happening. Let's say this week we started a new client, Digital Dubai. So Digital Dubai is the government organization who are managing all this UAE pass, digitalization, everything. So we have it's good, alhamdulillah, that we have started working with them in 2025, and we did a session last week. So I had a single word from the company. Rest, I was totally out of the process. So I'll go sometime, I'll meet them, that okay, we are doing wonderful work with you. But I was happy that my team is doing it and I'm not needed. So that is fine.
Yeah.
That is my
Yeah.
success. If
Yeah.
minus Qazi something is happening, it means Qazi is
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've worked with you and your team, quite a bit over the years, and even when you're not there, I know I'm in good hands because
Thank
is
you.
it is it Heba? Heba is
Hiba,
uh,
Hiba in Noor.
Heba.
Yeah, Hiba.
I
Yeah,
think
thank
she's here.
She must be listening. She knows her
She's
boss is
listening.
speaking. So how come she missed it?
She's listening. Yeah, and she says, I think
KPI.
Quasi has
Yeah,
been a
KPI
great
of the
leader.
week. Yeah,
Yeah,
KPI of the week is when your boss is in a podcast, you have to attend it. Sorry.
but the key is with that. I mean, you come in, you get it started, and then you're on to other things. You may have two or three locations that's going on at the same time. But I feel that when I'm there with Hiva, I'm in good hands. Anything I needed, she's right there and doing that. And I know it didn't start that way. You had to build that capability up for her, over a period of time.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask about, once you've got the firm up and running now, what are you excited about for the next iteration of it? Is it just to grow more business or having more of an impact or?
Okay. See, if you talk about future plans and excitement to grow more business, I'm nowadays, not nowadays, since last 2 years, I'm working on the expansion to the Saudi market. So I've been in
Okay. Oh, I
discussions with
saw that. Yeah.
Hamza. Yeah, I've been in discussion with Hamza, and we have decided and we have rolled out a plan for it. From 2023, we have started to work on the Saudi market. We are already working with not many, but 8 to 10 clients in the Saudi market, and they are all big groups in the retail sector, in the education sector, in Dammam, Riyadh, and Jeddah. So we have like 8 to 10 clients from the Saudi market. So I'm very much excited for 2025 because I'm planning to be part of the HR summit as well. You are always a speaker in HR summit Dubai,
Yeah.
buying
I could
pharma.
make it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So they are having the HR Summit Riyadh in the mid of June from 15th till 28th. So we were
Hmm.
discussing that we should go there not only as a visitor but as an exhibitor. So
Okay.
because we believe in investments and returns. So that is what I'm very much excited about for 2025 and the next 2 and 3 years. That how this will these will bring results for us. Our
Yes.
expansion when
Yeah.
it comes to
Saudi. Yeah, Saudi is a big market. Everybody's trying to get in there, but it's easy to get in there when you've got a track record you can go back to. So you've got a track record in UAE that you can bring to, that marketplace, and it's not like you're coming in as an unknown and trying to get that started.
yeah.
So when you think about the journey you've had and now you've been successful, in what ways are you giving back to, maybe to Pakistan, maybe to new executives? Are you taking people under your wings and growing them? Is there any initiatives you work on that you're proud of? How am I helping others to come along and be successful or follow their dreams? You went through a great career trajectory. Any way that
See,
you're paying that back?
there are 2, 3 points if I'm understanding your question right. One is how we are giving back. You mentioned to the people, and then
Hmm.
you mentioned to if somebody is willing to be an entrepreneur in the same field. So I'll answer the first
Yeah.
question. When it comes to giving it to the people, we truly believed on this as an individual and as an organization. On an yearly basis, we arrange a learning festival, and thanks to you because you are always the opening keynote speaker in that learning
Okay.
festival.
Yeah. Yeah.
The best part is that, and our clients wait for it, they love it because there is no price tag attached to it.
Yeah.
We work on it thoroughly on the topics which are needed by organizations, and
Hmm.
it has a series of 8 to 10 programs on behavioral competencies, on AI, and on a little bit of data analytics. So we have a design
Yeah.
of learning festival. So
Yeah.
2025 was the third successful year for the learning festival,
Mm.
and a series of 8 to 10 programs which we are doing free of cost for the client for unlimited number of people because it's a learning
Hmm.
festival. So there is one
Yeah.
thing which I would say that this is our giving back to the people industry. When it comes to specifically to your question, that if somebody in Pakistan, people contact me, if I'm taking your question right, you are talking about if somebody wants to have a company in Dubai because there are a lot of ambiguities. So for that purpose, I'm always be a friendly consultant
Okay.
without any. So people are contacting me, trainers are contacting me from Pakistan. They know me because I was very much well indulged in that market. They contact me. They want to set up different training companies. They want to
Mm-hmm.
set up event companies, so I always help them out in and out, apart
Yeah.
from the clientele. So I told them the only one thing, you know, only one thing, don't ask me for the list of clients and the data. Otherwise, whatever you want, I'm there, right? Because it
Yeah.
took me like 15 years to build it up.
Yeah.
So, and it
Yeah.
is really helping out. Like Institute of Chartered Accountant of Pakistan, we used to do CFO conferences for them in Pakistan, and we did CFO
Mm-hmm.
conferences for them here as well. Now they have a proper office setup in Dubai, and there were a lot of conversations. I helped them out. Pakistan Society of Training and Development, led by Adil, he's a very smart guy. So PSTD is a Pakistan Society of Training and Development. They have opened their
I,
office recently in Dubai, so I'm helping them out. Helping them out means advices, what I have learned from this market, what needed to
yeah.
be done. You know, sometimes we think that it's a small advice, but you are
Mm-hmm.
clearing a very big confusion for people. I'll give you an example. For example, let's say in Saudi I want to open a company. I went there in February. I met 5 consultants, right, that I want to open a company formally in Saudi. You know, I got a price range starting from 10,000 Saudi Riyal up to 70,000 Saudi Riyal. Now, just
Tell me
imagine why
about
there
it.
is a confusion. If somebody, any of my trusted person is over there and he is running a company, and he would say, okay, don't worry, I'll tell you what to do, and you just follow this. So that
Mm-hmm.
is like gem advice for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like that. You look at the range of that, but again, that's about building up a relationship with people. But you talked about the Pakistan, the group. I did it. I did the opening keynote for them. I think it was. I'm going to say it was probably. It was in September. I think it was. I think I was there. Sometimes around there, attending their conference. And one of the things that I've learned is that, and this kind of goes into what you were saying, how you were giving back to people, kind of coaching them through whatever. My mother always would tell me that you always give, because it's like making a deposit every day, and then when you're ready to make a withdrawal, will always be there. And it's kind of the same kind of process that you're talking about, that you're always there to help people and guide people. Because when you come from Pakistan, I mean, I'm sure in your country, you're seen as kind of one of the key leaders who came over with nothing. And I don't want to say came over with nothing, but you came over with an idea, and you were
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
build it into a thriving company,
yes.
inside of the world today. So as you build that branch, say, and you explore Saudi, and you begin the process of growing in Saudi, that means you're going to have to build a larger team and all those kinds of things. How do you coach people to come and follow the dream and get them excited about what you're trying to do? Any methods you use to motivate people?
I usually mentor them. And you mean my team? So I usually mentor
Yeah.
my team, as I said, and my usually my methods and my style is like that. I try to discuss it with them and be very open that what's in it for them. And if
Hmm.
sometimes there is nothing in it for them, then I tell them that this is for us, for the organization, but you are a part of the overall picture and the overall organization. So see,
Hmm.
if you take your people collectively as a team, they feel it like that. Even if they are not going
Hmm.
to Saudi, they are not going to get the fringe benefits if we are having a new branch in Saudi. So,
Yeah.
but they know that we are growing, right? They know that as a team we are growing, as a company we are growing. So that keeps them motivated. As of now, we have not started our operations as a manpower in Saudi, but we have already started in-house training programs in Saudi.
Hmm.
We have good
Hmm.
clients in Saudi. Talk about Siemens, some local groups over here, which is Aster
Hmm.
Group. We have done for Savola. Savola is based in UAE and Saudi both. There is
Hmm.
a famous university, King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. It's 1 hour
Yeah.
outside Jeddah. It's
Hmm.
huge. When I entered there, there is a five-star hotel within the premises of the university. It's huge. They have an
What you
innovation
don't
hub.
find.
Yeah. So I thought,
Yeah.
so these are the some, as I said, we have only 8 to 10 clients in Saudi, but they are valuable. As of
Hmm.
now, there is no team as physical in Saudi, but this is the target of 2025. If we are able to
Yeah.
achieve it, that we have to have at least one or two people. So that's also one of the purpose of going for a long duration during the this HR summit in June, if we are able to.
Mm-hmm. And build it
I,
up
I
from
hope
there.
I've answered your question.
No, you did answer the question. You know, Jawad Saeed made an interesting point. A
What
question. He said, if you had the chance, what would you have done different? And if you had the chance, would you do it all over again? Pretty good question.
you
Not to
have
put you on
invited
the spot.
you have invited people with questions. Okay.
No, no, no.
If you had
It's
the chance, what?
Jawad Saeed, he was the one that posted that question.
Yeah.
So if you had the
What
chance, what
what
would you have done
what
differently?
have what have you done different? Okay. See, I won't say entirely different. Thank you, Jawad, for posting this question and for listening to us. There is one area which is still I have not fully explored, and which is linked to our industry. So it's not something very different. So, but I'll take
Mm-hmm.
that question and and I'll share my thoughts on it. Uh, like in Pakistan, we were doing trainings in large scale conferences. So here also we
Mm-hmm.
started with large scale conferences, and that was one of my passion as well. And we know that we can do it good. We did twice the ICAP CFO conference with 500 CFOs and head of finance in the Atlantis Hotel,
Oh,
and we did that conference for the Institute. Okay, ICAP is Institute of Chartered Accountant of Pakistan.
yeah.
So they know we since Terabase we used to their conferences in Pakistan. So we did
Mm-hmm.
the conference twice in UAE, and that was I wanted to carry forward with them with my own conferences and events. But eventually, because of the size of the team, the pressures we have due to the expansion issues and problems, then COVID came in. So that is one part which I have not done it yet. So that is still,
Okay.
you can
Okay.
say, part of my dreams. But then more and more we were penetrating into learning and development, and we were not focusing on building a brand and conferences. It's also a very good
Okay.
market.
Okay.
Thank
Let
you,
me just
John.
do a shout out to people that posted comments. Ifran Ali said, "Good to see your progression in the region." Peter
Ah, thank
Piccinini,
you.
who was a former guest, who
Yeah.
started in arts in the arts in Broadway, and now he's a wealth advisor. And this is how careers change. And then there's Ali Khan says, "Great, uh, great sir."
Uh, Thank you,
Nazreen
Ali.
says, "Team is a pillar of company."
Ah, thank you.
She said, "Very good, Quasi. I'm very happy. Team
Ah,
success depends upon leadership." Hiba says, "Quasi has been a good leader." Hey, Hiba, how are you?
thank you. Thank you.
Nazreen says, very hard to compete in UAE international market. And when you gave me those numbers, I didn't know that. I mean, but you were able to build a brand and navigate up, and now you're a known brand. I kind of did the same thing, starting from nothing, and now that people look to you to do all those kinds of things. And Baraz just says, applauding in that.
Thank you.
Jasmine says, hello, thumbs up. Najreen, I'm sorry, Rashan. Um,
Oh, okay. Thank you, Roshan.
no,
Thank you. So you can see all these comments. I cannot, right?
I can see him from my side here. You
Okay,
got
fine.
everybody here. I'm gonna say this is the most comments we've ever had. So you got a
Ah,
big
John.
following.
John, what is it?
John, I know John very well. I mean, John says a very easy, comfortable, informative session on success and growth from a standing start. And it's a joy working with you. Keep growing, young sir.
Thank you, John. I would really appreciate your time for listening to this podcast. John is amazing. And
He
John
is
has been doing
amazing. Yes.
wonderful programs with us, traveling extensively to Pakistan, to Saudi. Amazing, amazing guy. He's working a lot on emotional intelligence and assessments and profiling. Thank you, John. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Matter of fact, he was at LearnFest. He wasn't at LearnFest.
Yes, yes, he was a part of
Yeah.
LearnFest
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was I think you first met him in the a couple of years back in the dinner when we were all gathered, John
Yeah.
and all of
That
people.
evening we
Hamza
had there
came.
at the
Yeah,
restaurant. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
in the restaurant.
and that's how you built that up. But it's amazing how when you started this out, and one of the things I want to ask you because you mentioned earlier you put on these conferences for financials and CFOs. Do you tell your story, your career progression? I started out to be one of you, but I said no, I'm going to change to go to something else. Have you told that story to a group like that? I mean, it's
No,
interesting.
not yet. I'll be
That
very
yeah,
honest. Uh, the first time I posted it as a story was in this March. It was a Ramadan evening. I was rushing back for iftar. on March 26th. And then I was about to leave the office, and I saw one of my posts on Facebook. Nowadays, we are not posting anything on Facebook, but there was a time we used to. Sorry for that, but we used to post on Facebook. Oh, I have a new bottle today. So that so, there was a time when we used to post this on the Facebook. Oh, I have a new bottle today. So I saw my post on. It's very funny that I landed on at Dubai airport, Emirates terminal, and then I had a selfie that landed on Dubai opportunities and this and that with
Yeah.
spelling mistakes. Okay, with the spelling mistakes. No chat GPT, no AI, all human plus emotion.
Yeah.
So in March, I took that post, and then I personally realized that I have been through a journey. I came here for job search. It was
Mm.
February and March, and I was going. It was a 1 month visa. Hamza guided me very well. Okay, do this, do that when you go to Dubai, and door to door, I was giving interviews. I found a job. I did a job. I formed Symphotex, and till now, it's now 12 years including my job period. So then I posted it on LinkedIn. I got the maximum impressions and likes, and this is how you invited me to this postcard. Answering to your question, I have never been telling stories like this to, especially if I tell this to the CFOs and finance people that I did a lot of
Yeah.
conferences for you, but I was running away from this career, so they will kill me, of course, right? No, no, no. So thanks to you for inviting me in this podcast, and now many people who are not even in a day-to-day conversation, so they know about it. So yeah, hats off
Well,
to you.
let me just clarify something. You were always on the list to be a guest, but I read that post,
Yeah,
and the post syncs with what we try and do here. You
yeah,
you start one way. You said I went to school, I got the MBA, I was going to do finance, 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 and then as we say, shit happens and you miss around and go someplace else, and now you ended up doing this. And that's what I said. You know what? Let me make sure of this. And I reached out to Merle and I said, "Here's Quasi." I said, "Please invite Quasi because I love that story." In doing that. So I say that to say that we're visible on social media, but you never know how many people you impress by something you say.
thank you so much. Thank you,
You
thank
know,
you.
you never know
So
how you impress.
see,
Go ahead.
sometimes now we have started. We are not sharing our personal stories. So one of my friend, his name is Tofel. I would like to mention him over here. His name is Tofel. He is the CEO of Pakistan Freelancer Association, and he always encourages us to share stories, achievements, failures on LinkedIn, on the professional media,
Yeah,
for learning purpose. So this is, but we never shared. We never shared. We thought
yeah.
it's okay, it's fine. I mean, so maybe that is one of the reasons that not many people are knowing about these stories. And I'm sure now
Mm.
over the weekend lunches and dinners, people will ask me about this more.
That triggered me. I mean, that triggered me. I said, well, because we all came to Dubai. I came here from. I lived in Riyadh, and I came here, and
Oh,
I see my good friend, my neighbor from Riyadh, Jim Moy. He was my neighbor in Riyadh, and we were both there at the same time. He's now in Washington D.C. He doesn't like when I say this, but he's one of the big shot attorneys in Washington D.C.
okay.
And that's how that started. So when you look at a person's career, we tend to see a proverbial mountaintop, but we don't know how they navigated that and got to that point. And I was always concerned with that. And that was the reason that we started the CEO series, just to listen to people and talking through those journeys. And when I read that, that was a couple of weeks ago, was it 2, 3 weeks ago, or whatever it is you posted that?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
and I'm
Well,
figuring you
well,
coming out of the Dubai airport with your luggage and like, okay, what do I do now? And you were
see,
able to build a brick. Yeah,
one thing which I recall always, which Hamza always used to say is that people people whenever they see you as a successful professional or as an entrepreneur, they only see the success. They don't know the hurdles and problems and challenges behind that.
I have no idea.
Every point of life, he has been a wonderful mentor. um, he was here last week. He has been always a wonderful mentor, and the
Hmm.
best part is that still now I am taking his advices into my yearly quarterly goals. And he always tell me that once you achieve the success, nobody would know. They will see your LinkedIn, they will see your events, They don't know
Yeah.
that how you have been through all this. Only a few people who are family and close friends, they know.
Hmm.
I mean, when in 2016, I'm sure we have time. When in 2016 I was about to form Symphotics with Hamza, so my elder one, Ibrahim, he broke his hand. It was April 2016, and he had a fracture. At that time, he was just 7 years old, and we were rushing here and there, and we went to hospitals, and the insurance said no, you this and that, and it was an expense of 25,000 dirhams because they said they will put two rods in it. So I was rushing here and there with him, and on the other side, I was going to form a company. So all that pressures, right? Where to buy? Yeah, 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 yeah. Sorry, you said it all. You said it all, right? See, so all
When I
these
say
things.
that, I said when I did that, I said, been that, done that. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'll. That's why I'm referring to Hamza here, because when it comes to this, he said, "Don't worry at all. I'm here. I'm with you. You focus on family. I'll see whatever needed to be done." So see, if you have people like those in your team, in your partners, in your well wishers, then you are able to take decisions.
Hmm.
Otherwise, at that point of time, I might have dropped the idea and went for another job search, which will give
Exactly.
me insurance, monthly salary, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
etc. Oh, khalli balli, you know.
Headaches and all.
Yes. So at that point of time, so that's why I always admire Hamza as my partner, as my mentor, and I try to learn from his intellectual.
Hmm.
So it is not easy. I mean, the post says it all: 12 years, entrepreneurship, and
Yeah.
3 countries, but nobody sees the pain behind that.
That's right.
Sorry, as I
No,
said,
no.
you have put me on my favorite subject, so so
Yeah.
you have
But
to
no,
interrupt me.
no, no. You touched on some things that we try and get out of people in talking to that because no one sees the. One of the things I said, if only the ceilings could talk when you're laying in bed at night and you've got all these things on your mind. But when people come out and see you all suited up, they said, "Oh, this is the
Yes,
perfect
yes,
example of all of this." But they have no idea what goes and what's going on in the background. You know, the smile is there, but you got 1,001 thoughts running through your head. So let me ask you this: how do you stay focused, or how do you stay focused during that early period when you had you talked to your son, had this, and you was going through this, and you were trying to build a business? How did you stay focused on what you were trying to accomplish? Any secrets or any methods you use to do that?
see, everyone has their own personality styles.
Yeah.
I myself, I'm an emotional person. I have emotional values, right? So whenever there are problems, my personality is backed by those values as well, apart from business, money, profession. I'm always inspired with my father. So my
Okay.
father is, yeah, he's in Abu Dhabi these days. I'm not sure if he's watching it. So I'm always inspired by my father. He has been an entrepreneur all his life. Plus,
Hmm.
he was a very good family man. So I have seen it since my teens. These problems which I have started facing, I have seen these problems faced by my father all of his journey in Pakistan as an entrepreneur, as a businessman. So he has been always a source of inspiration for me when it comes to emotional triggers. That how he
Hmm.
balanced life, family, and everyone, right?
Yeah.
And he gave us a very strong upbringing in terms of values and education, both. So going to UK was was his dream. I was more into, I'm in Pakistan, I'm happy, I don't want to go anywhere, I'm in my
I can go to
comfort
uni
zone.
over here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was not a person that who's dreaming to go to UK and study. No, no, no. It was his dream that no, you will go to the UK, you will study, you will do your MBA, and then come back and and do whatever you want.
Mm.
So one thing is, I always take inspiration from him. Whenever I'm in a problem, he's always there. And at that time as well, because you mentioned the broken heart of my son, he went with me to Pakistan. So eventually, we went to Pakistan to get it operated, and we went for
Hmm.
a week's time. So he said, "Don't worry, I'm there. I'll go with you. Don't worry at all." So when your father is there, standing behind you, so you said, "Okay, yeah." So I have two strong arms, Hamza and my father.
Yeah.
Apart
So
from that,
you,
Ron,
yeah.
yeah, apart from that, when it comes to profession, consistency is important.
Mm,
It is very important. It was a very big
mm,
challenge. It was a
yeah.
very big challenge when I decided to start something at my own. Then I discussed it with number of people, and I discussed it with my wife. She has been a wonderful supporter throughout the journey. I have 4 kids
Mm,
living in Dubai,
mhm,
4 kids. So it's not easy because we do not have a very well family system over here. So she is taking care of
yeah.
them. A very good life partner she is. So I discussed it with my wife. She gave me a good backup. Okay, fine, but I discussed it with my father as well. He said, if you think you can do it, then do it, but then be consistent. So
Mm,
it's not like that, okay, I have friends, I will start a company in Dubai, I will wait for my first renewal. So this is important. I know what is the renewal price for Dubai, what is the rent. I'll wait for my first renewal, then I'll see how it goes. If it is not going well, I'll jump back to the job. No. So my focus, because the question was, my focus was to be consistent. Because if
mhm,
I'm deciding that I'll do it, then I have to do it. There is
okay.
no turning point. There is no U-turn. There is no turning
Mhm,
point.
yeah, yeah.
So
Mm,
consistency has to be there. We scored very low in COVID. It was a disaster in COVID,
mm,
but
mm,
alhamdulillah, we never closed down. So
yeah.
we struggled, and then we have risen again. So
Mm, okay.
consistency, hard work, dedication, and then trust in whichever Lord you are up to. Trust
It-
in Him as well.
as we close out, one of the goals of the show was to bring together esteemed business leaders from across the globe to share their story. Because some of the feedback we get, this, oh, that was so interesting. Because you, as you said, you thought you were going to end up here, you ended up going here, and all these kinds of things. And this is what's important. Would you like to have some closing thoughts? So you have a closing thought as we begin to close out that you'd like to leave with the audience?
Closing thoughts is it's something which I already said. I would repeat it. You have to be competitive. So I'll summarize it. You have to be competitive. One thing which I missed during our discussion is our innovative board game programs.
Hmm.
I thought I'll talk about it. So you have to be competitive. You have to be innovative. You must have heard a lot or read a lot. Innovate or die. It is
Yeah.
not just a line. It is not just a quotation. When you are into business, then you realize that innovate or die.
Hmm.
If you will not innovate, you will die. Innovation doesn't mean you come up with a supercomputer. Innovation
Yeah.
doesn't mean you put everything on a cloud and you do everything online. So
Yeah.
innovation doesn't mean technology.
Mm-hmm.
Innovation means whatever you are doing, do it differently. Do it in a
Mm-hmm.
way that others might not do frequently or immediately, or the client finds a value in it. So what we did is in 2019. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracting from your question. In 2019, we started with a board game training program. So we did a joint venture with a US based company called Fintellect, and then they have a local presence. They have a local partner. So we joined hands with them, and we started to make physical board games.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
we did finance board game, we did banking board game, trade finance board game, and now this year, a milestone we have achieved. We have did a retail profitability board game, which
mm,
is for one of the biggest retail giant in UAE, which is the Landmark Group. They have
okay.
2,500 stores across GCC,
Mm-hmm.
and we have developed a board game which their retail managers, their retail heads will play, and they have a set of KPIs which they will achieve. Which, of course, the business knowledge all came from Landmark Group.
Mm.
So this is how we are innovating our training solutions. So
Mm.
sometimes there is no technology involved, but you have to think differently.
Yeah.
So these are one of the things. Plus, one closing thought, advice, summarize. I would say just try to hear your inner instinct, that what is coming from here. But
Mm.
of course, match it with this as well. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So try to hear it out. What is coming from your inside, your instinct, and
Mm-hmm.
then ready to do it, and then be consistent.
Good. Good.
So if I'll talk to you for another 1 hour, consistency is a word which I'll repeat again and again and again. This is what Hiba always asks me. Noor,
Yeah.
Hiba, my team, the other team members. oh,
Yeah.
this client we have contacted, we are not getting through, and this and that. I said, it's fine, be consistent. And they say,
Yeah.
you just say be consistent. I said, it's not just be consistent. Be consistent is a science in itself. When you
Yeah.
will think about it, you will get to know more ideas how to
Mm,
be consistent,
yeah.
what we can do to be consistent, what different we can do. Sorry, it's already 5:50. Yes, I hope I
Okay.
have given you the
No,
answers
no,
right.
no. You're cool. Thank you so much for making the time to be a guest on the show, and I want you to hang on as we begin to close out because I want to cover a couple of things for that's going to happen next week. So for people that are listening in, thank you. We're here every Friday morning and after 5 p.m. in Dubai. We talk to interesting people like Qazi, who's also a dear friend for a long, long time, and we share career stories. So thank you, everyone. Like, share, tell everybody about the CEO series every Friday. So thank you, everyone. Closing out now. Thank you. Hang on.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you.
Take the CEO series with you anywhere, anytime. All episodes are now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and major streaming platforms. It's not just an interview, it's a masterclass in leadership.